Hi, I'm so glad you've come back and joined me again today. We're on day 49. Day 49. Do you know what that means, you guys? Do you know what that means? Do you realize that we're 7 weeks now into reading the Bible together every single day? It's just so very exciting. I'm jazzed, and be so proud of yourself. Be so proud of yourself for continuing this journey. Be so proud of yourself for deciding that yes, I will read the Bible every day of this year of 2020, because that's going to give you a new vision. Bible reading every day, adjust direction. So you're going to have a new vision. We're going to continue with the story of King Balak and Balaam today. It's pretty exciting what we've been reading. I mean, we read the story with the donkey yesterday. That's one of my very favorite passages in the Bible. One of my very, very favorite. But we're going to continue today in chapter 24, 25, and 26 is where we're going to continue reading in today. And we're going to finish up the story with King Balak and with Balaam. So let's begin. I hope you have your notepads, your pens, your papers, your markers, your highlighters, everything that you need. By now Balaam realized that the Lord was determined to bless Israel, so he did not resort to divination as before. Instead, he turned and looked out toward the wilderness, where he saw the people of Israel camped, tribe by tribe. Then the Spirit of God came upon him. And I just want to back up and let's read this again, okay? Because Balaam is obviously very stubborn, because he already had the conversation with his donkey. He already, he allowed the people into his home, first off, and he shouldn't have. And then he's like, well, but just wait. The Lord says I cannot go with you, but go ahead and stay here and let me pray about it again, and I'll see. And maybe he'll let me go with you. So he's already compromising himself, as I talked about yesterday. Then he argues with the donkey. And now then he knows that he has to do, he says, I won't give you any message except that which the Lord delivers. And then here it says that by now Balaam, we're not talking King Balak here. By now Balaam realized that the Lord was determined to bless Israel. So he did not resort to divination as he had done before. He's a stubborn character himself. But instead he turned and he looked out toward the wilderness, and he saw the Israel camped out there tribe by tribe. And we know that there were hundreds of thousands, 1 million of them camped out there. And this is the message. The Spirit of God came upon him, and this is the message that was delivered. This is the message of Balaam, son of Beor, the message of the man whose eyes see clearly. I'd like to put in there, whose eyes now see clearly. The message of the one who hears the words of God, who sees a vision from the Almighty, who bows down with his eyes wide open. How beautiful are your tents, O Jacob! How lovely are your homes, O Israel! They spread before me like palm groves, like gardens by the riverside. They are like tall trees planted by the Lord, like cedars beside the waters. Water will flow from their buckets. Their offspring have all they need. Their king will be greater than Agag. Their kingdom will be exalted. God brought them out of Egypt. For them he is as strong as a wild ox. He devours all the nations that oppose him, breaking their bones in pieces, shooting them with arrows. Like a lion, Israel crouches and lies down, like a lioness who dares to arouse her. Blessed is everyone who blesses you, O Israel, and cursed is everyone who curses you. King Balak flew into a rage against Balaam. He angrily clapped his hands and shouted, I called you to curse my enemies. Instead, you have blessed them 3 times. Now get out of here. Go back home. I promised to reward you richly, but the Lord has kept you from your reward. Balaam told Balak, don't you remember what I told your messengers? I said, even if Balak were to give me his palace filled with silver and gold, I would be powerless to do anything against the will of the Lord. I told you that I could say only what the Lord says. Now I am returning to my own people, but first let me tell you what the Israelites will do to your people in the future. And this is Balaam's final message. This is the message Balaam delivered. This is the message of Balaam, son of Beor, the message of the man whose eyes now see clearly. The message of the one who hears the words of God, who has the knowledge from the Most High, who sees a vision from the Almighty, who bows down with his eyes wide open. I see him, but not here and now. I perceive him, but far in the distant future. A star will rise from Jacob. I want to cry. A scepter will emerge from Israel. It will crush the foreheads of Moab's people, cracking the skulls of the people of Sheth. And you know who this is, don't you? A star will rise from Jacob. Who is that star? A scepter will emerge from Israel. Who is the scepter? It is Jesus himself. This is in the book of Numbers. We don't even start reading about the life of Jesus until we're into the New Testament. There's thousands of years here. So this is foretelling what's going to happen. This is God foretelling them what's going to happen. Edom will be taken over and Seir, its enemies, will be conquered. While Israel marches on in triumph, a ruler will rise in Jacob who will destroy the survivors of Ur. Then Balaam looked over toward the people of Amalek and delivered this message. And remember, Amalek, that's where Joshua and Caleb went and saw the land that the Lord was going to give them. And the other people were just like, no, there's giants there. No, we can't go there. And Caleb and Canaan and Jacob saw that land and said, it's so fertile. It's so fertile. It's beautiful. It's a land flowing with milk and honey. Then Balaam looked over toward the people of Amalek and delivered this message. Amalek was the greatest of nations, but its destiny is destruction. Then he looked over toward the Kenites and delivered this message. Your home is secure, your nest is set in the rocks, but the Kenites will be destroyed when Assyria takes you captive. Balaam concluded his messages by saying, alas, who can survive unless God has willed it? Ships will come from the coast of Cyprus. They will oppress Assyria and afflict Eber, but they too will be utterly destroyed. Then Balaam and Balak returned to their homes. Chapter 25. While the Israelites were camped at Acacia Grove, some of the men defiled themselves by having sexual relations with the local Moabite women. These women invited them to attend sacrifices to their gods, so the Israelites feasted with them and worshipped the gods of Moab. In this way, Israel joined in the worship of Baal of Peor, causing the Lord's anger to blaze against his people. Then the Lord issued the following command to Moses: seize all the ringleaders and execute them before the Lord in broad daylight, so his fierce anger will turn away from the people of Israel. So Moses ordered Israel's judges, each of you must put to death the men under your authority who have joined in worshiping Baal of Peor. Just then one of the Israelite men brought a Midianite woman into his tent right before the eyes of Moses and all the people, as everyone was weeping at the entrance of the tabernacle. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar and grandson of Aaron the priest, saw this, he jumped up and left the assembly. He took a spear and rushed after the man into his tent. Phinehas thrust the spear all the way through the man's body and into the woman's stomach. So the plague against Israel was stopped, but not before 24,000 people had died. Can you imagine the nerve of this man just being so, just defiling everything that they'd been taught, everything that they knew, everything. And then right there in front of Moses, in front of the people crying out in front of the tabernacle, and he brings a woman into his tent to have relations with her. And they're both killed. They're impaled right there together. Then the Lord said to Moses, Phinehas, son of Eleazar and grandson of Aaron the priest, has turned my anger away from the Israelites by being as zealous among them as I was. Ooh, to have that said about you. That the Lord would say that, as zealous as I was. So I stopped destroying all Israel as I had intended to do in my zealous anger. Now tell him that I am making my special covenant of peace with him. In this covenant I give him and his descendants a permanent right to the priesthood, for in his zeal for me, his God, he purified the people of Israel, making them right with me. The Israelite man killed with the Midianite woman was named Zimri, son of Salu, the leader of a family from the tribe of Simeon. The woman's name was Cosbi. She was the daughter of Zur, the leader of a Midianite clan. Then the Lord said to Moses, attack the Midianites and destroy them, because they assaulted you with deceit and tricked you into worshiping Baal of Peor, and because of Cosbi, the daughter of the Midianite leader who was killed at the time of the plague because of what happened at Peor. Chapter 26. After the plague had ended, the Lord said to Moses and to Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, from the whole community of Israel, record the names of all the warriors by their families, list all the men 20 years old or older who are able to go to war. So there on the plains of Moab, beside the Jordan River, across from Jericho, Moses and Eleazar the priest issued these instructions to the leaders of Israel. List all the men of Israel 20 years old and older, just as the Lord commanded Moses. This is the record of all the descendants of Israel who came out of Egypt. These were the clans descended from the sons of Reuben, Jacob's oldest son, the Hanakite clan, named after their ancestor Hanak, the Paluite clan, named after their ancestor Palu, the Hezronite clan, named after their ancestor Hezron, the Carmite clan, named after their ancestor Carmi. These were the clans of Reuben. Their registered troops numbered 43,730. Palu was the ancestor of Eliab, and Eliab was the father of Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. This Dathan and Abiram are the same community leaders who conspired with Korah against Moses and Aaron, rebelling against the Lord. But the earth opened up its mouth and swallowed them with Korah, and fire devoured 250 of their followers. This served as a warning to the entire nation of Israel. However, the sons of Korah did not die that day. These were the clans descended from the sons of Simeon, the Jemuelite clan, named after their ancestor Jemuel, the Jaminite clan, named after their ancestor Jamin, Jachinite clan, named after their ancestor Jachin, the Zoharite clan, named after their ancestor Zohar, the Shaulite clan, named after their ancestor Shaul. These were the clans of Simeon. Their registered troops numbered 22,200. These were the clans descended from the sons of Gad, the Zephonite clan, named after their ancestor Zephon, the Haggite clan, named after their ancestor Haggi, the Shunite clan, named after their ancestor Shuni, the Oznite clan, named after their ancestor Ozni, the Arite clan, named after their ancestor Eri, the Aradite clan, named after their ancestor Aradi, the Aralite clan, named after their ancestor Arali. These were the clans of Gad. Their registered troops numbered 40,500. Judah had two sons, Ur and Onan, who died in the land of Canaan. These were the clans descended from Judah's surviving sons. The Shelonite clan, named after their ancestor Shelah, the Perizzite clan, named after their ancestor Perez, the Zerahite clan, named after their ancestor Zerah. These were the subclans descended from the Perizzites, the Hezronites, named after their ancestor Hezron, the Hamulites, named after their ancestor Hamul. These were the clans of Judah. Their registered troops numbered 76,500. These were the clans descended from the sons of Issachar, the Toalite clan, named after their ancestor Tola, the Puite clan, named after their ancestor Pua, the Jashubite clan, named after their ancestor Jashub, the Shimronite clan, named after their ancestor Shimron. Now, we are going to be going through all of this, and this is part of the fun in Numbers, other than just the wonderful stories that we get to read, but it's part of the fun in Numbers. But you have to realize that these names are just as important, and we're going to go through these because there's 12 tribes. So we're going through all of these clans within these tribes. These were the clans of Issachar. Their registered troops numbered 64,300. The tribe of Zebulun. These were the clans descended from the sons of Zebulun. The Saradite clan, named after their ancestor Sarah. The Elonite clan, named after their ancestor Elon. The Jalilite clan, named after their ancestor Jalil. These were the clans of Zebulun. Their registered troops numbered 60,500. Two clans were descended from Joseph through Manasseh and Ephraim. These were the clans descended from Manasseh. The Machirite clan, named after their ancestor Machir. The Gileadite clan, named after their ancestor Gilead, Machir's son. These were the subclans descended from the Gileadites. The Jezerites, named after their ancestor, the Iazarites, named after their ancestor Iazar. The Helekites, named after their ancestor Helek. The Asrielites, named after their ancestor Asriel. The Shechemites, named after their ancestor Shechem. The Shemidaites, named after their ancestor Shemida. The Hepherites, named after their ancestor Hepher. One of Hepher's descendants, Zelophehad, had no sons, but his daughters' names were Mahlah, Noah, Hagla, Milcah, and Tirzah. These were the clans descended from the sons of Ephraim. The Shuthelite clan, named after their ancestor Shuthelah. The Becherite clan, named after their ancestor Bechur. The Tahanite clan, named after their ancestor Tahan. This was the subclan descended from the Shuthalahites. The Aaronites, named after their ancestor Aaron. These were the clans of Ephraim. The registered troops numbered 32,500. These clans of Manasseh and Ephraim were all descendants of Joseph. These were the clans descended from the sons of Benjamin. The Belite clan, named after their ancestor Bela. The Ashbelite clan, named after their ancestor Eshbel. The Ahamarite clan, named after their ancestor Aharam. The Shuphamite clan, named after their ancestor Shupham. The Huphamite clan, named after their ancestor Hupham. These were the subclans descended from the Belaites. The Ardites, named after their ancestor Ard. The Naamites, named after their ancestor Naaman. These were the clans of Benjamin. Their registered troops numbered 45,600. These were the clans descended from the sons of Dan. The Shuamite clan, named after their ancestor Shuam. These were the Shuamite clans of Dan. Their registered troops numbered 64,400. These were the clans descended from the sons of Asher. The Imnite clan, named after their ancestor Imnah. The Ishvite clan, named after their ancestor Ishvi. The Berite clan, named after their ancestor Beriah. These were the subclans descended from the Berites. The Hebrites, named after their ancestor Heber. The Machilites, named after their ancestor Machil. Asher also had a daughter named Sarah. These were the clans of Asher. Their registered troops numbered 53,400. And now here's the last of them. These were the clans descended from the sons of Naphtali. The Jazilite clan, named after their ancestor Jaziel. The Gunite clan, named after their ancestor Guni. The Jezerite clan, named after their ancestor Jezur. The Shilamite clan, named after their ancestor Shilam. These were the clans of Naphtali. Their registered troops numbered 45,400. In summary, the registered troops of all Israel numbered 601,730. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Divide the land among the tribes and distribute the grants of land in proportion to the tribes' populations as indicated by the number of names on the list. Give the larger tribes more land and the smaller tribes less land, each group receiving a grant in proportion to the size of its population. But you must assign the land by lot and give land to each ancestral tribe according to the number of names on the list. Each grant of land must be assigned by lot among the larger and smaller tribal groups. This is the record of the Levites who were counted according to their clans. The Gershonite clan, named after their ancestor Gershon. The Kohathite clan, named after their ancestor Kohath. The Merarite clan, named after their ancestor Merari. The Libnites, the Hebronites, the Malites, the Mushites, and the Korathites were all subclans of the Levites. Now Kohath was the ancestor of Amram, and Amram's wife was named Jochebed. She was also a descendant of Levi, born among the Levites in the land of Egypt. Amram and Jochebed became the parents of Aaron, Moses, and their sister Miriam. To Aaron were born Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died when they burned before the Lord the wrong kind of fire, different than he had commanded. The men from the Levite clans who were 1 month or older numbered 23,000. But the Levites were not included in the registration of the rest of the people of Israel because they were not given an allotment of land when it was divided among the Israelites. So these are the results of the registration of the people of Israel as conducted by Moses and Eleazar, the priest on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River, across from Jericho. Not one person on this list had been listed among those in the previous registration taken by Moses and Aaron in the wilderness of Sinai. For the Lord had said of them, "They will all die in the wilderness." Not one of them survived, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. And remember, that is because of the constant rebellion that they did. And the Lord said that they would not see the land flowing with milk and honey. So there had been the previous census taken, or the count, or the list. And now they needed a new one. Now, you don't hear anybody preach on Numbers 26. You don't hear that being preached on, I don't guess ever, except maybe the last verses of this. But you can see why that's all still very important, because you can see where the clans came from, where the tribes come from. And if you were to do the research and even into the background of that and where that goes and where that lines up and even out into the generations to the generations to the generations right into our day. And you might find out which tribe, which clan that you are descended from. We all are descendants of the king. We're all descendants of Adam and Eve. You know, and then whenever that family tree begins to break off and spread off and go into this, and you could find out exactly where your roots are too. What we do know is that our roots are right there with Jesus Christ, and that we are heirs to the kingdom of God, as you in the palm of his hand. So, all right, so join me again tomorrow for day 50. I'm pretty excited about that. Bye-bye.